Hey everybody, it's your boy Greg, back with another Crayola video. This is actually going to be the last Crayola video because I don't want to work with them no more. But I'm going to use all 6 boxes in this one to make a nice big piece. So for here, I just have 2 boxes. I have the cosmic crayons and the uni-crayons. I don't know what they mean, but you know, one is cosmic and one is uni. I guess like unicorn, I don't know. And I'm just doing a couple swatches of them. So here that is. Now we're gonna move on to some thumbnail sketches. And I have all the crayons here. I have the colors of the world, the pearl, the uni crayons, the metallic, the cosmic crayons, and the neon crayons. And of course we know that the neon crayons, they have a certain ability. And so I'm gonna do a couple thumbnail sketches here. But first I wanna see what I got to work with. Bam! There we go. We got a couple here. I got 2 pens I used for the background and the foreground. And so I'm making some more thumbnail sketches here. So let's see what kind of colors I'm gonna do, kind of, you know, what characters I want to do. So for this piece, I decided to go with my original characters from my comic called The Quad Squad. And so we have our 4 main characters along with the villain. And then I decided to make it a 1-point perspective also, just to get, you know, some extra colors that could be utilized. So when going into the details of the drawing, I wanted to have certain colors shine, and I wanted to have other colors that were more muted to be in the background, but not also look too muddy. So the first couple thumbnail sketches I had, it was going to be like a battle scene. I know I wanted something actiony, but I didn't know what I wanted exactly. So as you can see, I was fleshing out each idea on the paper through these thumbnail sketches. And I came to the conclusion of one that I am kind of drawing outside of the thumbnail boxes. And so here is that piece. And so when I like an idea, I go into it with a pen. I start with some pencil and I go into it with pen. And then as you can see, I make it even bigger on the side here. So when I was drawing these characters, I wanted them to be as true to the character as they are. So of course we have my first character, Leno. He is a shapeshifter. He's also a hot-headed person who likes to get things done. Then we have the other 3. One is more of a jokester. He's the youngest. His name is Orochi. He has the big fro. He is a lightning character. And then we have Edith and we have Sarah. They're the 2 girls holding him back. Both of them are very powerful. Now, Sarah is the more logical one, and Edith is the more compassionate one. They all actually are very important to their team. And we have our villain, who is obviously tempting everyone, you know, taunting him. He's a clown, of course, named Mittens. And so we have Leno trying to impale this villain, but the other ones know that that's not a good idea. And so we have the swift action and the 3 trying to stop him from doing so. Then I decided to have them outside in the streets doing this action, but no one's around because maybe they're in a secluded area. I don't know. I mostly did it for the sky, but it's a 1-point perspective. It has buildings and neon lights, of course. And I'm gonna have the neon lights shining on their heads and, you know, like a rim light kind of on their figures. So I wanted to do something epic with these crayons, and also something that's kind of dramatic. You know, each color is Each color could be a vibe on its own, but I wanted to have them all together because life is full of colors. And so for now, I'm just drawing it all in with a pencil, of course, because later I'm gonna put in more details with a fine liner. I usually use a micron, but there's different brands of each one. So their power sets are very powerful, of course. Leno can turn into whatever he wants to, any body part. And then Orochi is a lightning person. It lives inside of him. It's like an angel that lives inside of him. It gives him energy, or a being, some sort of being. And then Edith, she is a earthbender basically. She can move all kinds of rocks and stuff. But she can move other rocks like, Mars or something, planets. And then we have Sarah. She's a speedster. She can stop time basically, or she can, she's not really a time person, but she can, manipulate some certain things. She's also very strong. Her muscles are accelerated, but she's also very smart, and so she's the strategic one. So Leno, of course, I said he is the hot-headed one, but he's also like the go-getter. He's like, let's go do this. He has a lot of passion, but he also has a lot of anger. Orochi, he's the youngest one. He has a lot of jokes. He brings the humor, and he is very fun to be around, but he's also can be annoying. And then Sarah, I think I already mentioned Sarah. She's very strategic, logical, and she makes the plans. Edith, she's the compassionate one. She's the one who brings the humanity. She is she cares for the group, and she helps the team be together, solve problems, and all kinds of things like that. And then in this place is a town called Porce in Kentucky. It's not a real place. It's a place I made up on the map, and I made a map of it and everything. All the characters and stuff are on my site. The first 2 volumes are out. And I made them outside with no one there. Maybe it's a secluded town. Maybe they were hiding, or maybe they seen crazy figures and they ran, because in movies they always have people out and about when something crazy happening, like they're not going to get hurt. But yeah, so they're out and they're doing their thing, and they're trying not to kill this man, even though he is. Now, this villain here, I'm trying not to spoil too much of it, but he's a real villain. He runs a circus. His name is Mittens the Clown. He wears gloves, and he is kidnapping people so that he can do something with them. You'll see what. It's nothing gross though. Right here, I'm making my neon signs. They are going to be a nice added feature to this piece. But yeah, I'm doing all the perspective things, trying to make it, proportionate. I don't think his blade that Leno is using is very proportionate, but it adds for effect. So it looks like really long and sharp, and able to stab through something if it need to. each character, they have a power set that is limited. So with Orochi, he has to ask for his powers to be awoken in him. Otherwise, he's regular, kind of. He is more like a Shazam kind of thing. And then here I am with my fine liner going in. This is a Master's Touch fine liner, very juicy, very thin. That's which I like. Love it a lot. But yeah, Orochi, he has to ask for his powers, and he can really tear up his body if he isn't careful. And Leno, he has to know about the object that he is turning into. He has to know what it feels like, how it looks, the texture of it, all of that, or else it would just be wrong. He also has to take in consideration his weight. It's his mass. He has these mass balls that he wears, and these mass like objects that he wears to increase or decrease his mass, and that helps him turn into bigger things or smaller things. Edith, she has to concentrate a lot, and her emotion kind of, like basic superhero stuff. Her emotion controls her powers. And then with Sarah, she has to think a lot, or else she can really mess things up. Like on The Boys, where that man ran through that person. It's hard to stop when you're running really fast, and so you have to really be strategic when you run really fast and do other things like that. So I started going in with color in the sky first, kind of like a Bob Ross kind of thing. The sky, I just wanted it to it's like a dawn, dusk type of, afternoon. Uh, yeah, so I wanted to have a gradient of certain colors like blue to purple to like red. And I wanted it to be very pleasing to the eye. Especially with crayons, it's kind of hard to do a blend, but you can get it if you have even color distribution. So like all coloring, I start off with a light layer of the first base color. It's blue, just because sky is usually blue. Then I went in with a little light red, just get that shading in to get the good blend going on. You gotta work lighter to darker so that you can get that good shades and the gradient in so that it can be pleasing to the eye. So after all of your light layers are down, you go in with the darker layer to get the darks going. And you gotta make sure you color it evenly, or else it can look very messy. So I usually do it in one direction, so it doesn't look too just ugly. Granted, I think it still looks kind of ugly, but And so I went in with the purple, just to see what's going on. And I darkened all the colors up. So I tried to blend that more because it was looking a little crazy. And that's what I did. So I blended it, and I went in with the buildings. No, I went in with the faces. I went in kind of random, actually. I went in with Leno's face, and then I went in with the neon signs. I guess I was a little too excited and I wanted to do the neon signs. I think I wanted to do the neon signs before anything because they're going to be one of the main sources of light that's coming bouncing off of them. So I wanted to see what colors do I want the lights to even be that's going to be bouncing off of them. And so that's what I did. And you know, some of the neon colors don't light up, but some do. And so I knew which ones did from the other piece that I did with the mech. And yeah, so I went in and I did all the reflections and the lights that's bouncing off. I guess they're all reflections. But yeah, the reflections off of the buildings, the reflections off of the skin and metals and all that stuff. And then I fixed a couple things by erasing, you know, the lights are also going to be on the street lights because it's not morning, it's, you know, afternoon. Then I went in with Orochi because he's also one of the main sources of light because he's a, you know, an energy being. He is, you know, lightning, so it's going to be brightest, and the rest is going to be kind of the secondary colors along with the street lights. So I went in closer to do all the outfits and things. I should have made each character bigger so you can actually see their face, so I can use the colors of the world and you can see how that was used. But you know, it was very small, kind of insignificant detail of it, but it's there. So I went in with all the light colors. There you got each person in there, the light bouncing off their clothes, their skin, from Orochi and neon lights. So I went in with all the colors of their clothes, and again the lights followed by the darks. And then I did that little nose. I did all the highlights first, all the reflections of the different signs and things. Then I went in with the middle tones and then the darks. And I did that for everyone's clothes. Now each character, they have a color that they wear often, kind of like the Power Rangers, just because I like the way that they use their colors with everything that they have. So you can obviously know that, oh, that's the Red Rangers because it's red. And so we have the yellow, the blue, the purple, and the light blue. Those are the colors of the Quad Squad. So after I finished all the characters colored, their clothes and things like that, I went in with the sidewalk and the buildings. And for most of the sidewalks and the buildings, I used the colors of the world because they're more earthy tones, just like human faces, I guess. So there's browns and blacks, and there's kind of gray ones looking, some tans for the sidewalk. And then I colored in all the pieces that I wanted to be the shadows, so that I can know that these are um, the shadows and these are not. For the buildings, I didn't really have any real plans of what I wanted to do. I just kind of went in with whatever I had. Like I said, I don't use swatches like that, so I just kind of go in with it. But I did have it sketched out with the pencil and the fine liner. Most of the fine liner ones that I used, or most of the pieces that I used the fine liner on, were the pieces that were up close. The background, I don't think I had a fine liner on it, just because I wanted the colors to speak for themselves without being too bold and messing up all the. So as I was doing the buildings, I just kind of played it by ear and just did what I thought fit. But yeah, I didn't want the contrast to be muddled, I guess. I want the people up front to know that they're up front, and then all the things in the back to be more in the back. So the background doesn't have any fine liners. The people in the background have a thin outlining, and then the people in the front have the thicker outline. So it's just kind of, in real life, things are more closer, you focus on that more, and things in the background is kind of more blurry, I guess. Focused is in the front, not the back, but you can still see everything. And so I left some room for the lights to shine through on the street. When I did the street, I went in with the light color, and then I went in with a darker color, and I left the street light pieces so that you can see that, oh, the street lights are on. And then I did the trash cans and the other things. I also have the street is under construction, so that could be another reason why no one's there. I think that was my reasoning here. It's under construction, so no one's here, so you can't see a lot of pedestrians or anything. So I went in with the windows. I went a nice blue color, but then I muted it because it was too bright, and no windows are really that bright, especially when it's nighttime. And then I darkened the sidewalks. There's still some street lights on the sidewalks too, so I made that light shine and didn't do that part. I went in with the shadows, so you know that they're not just floating around on the sidewalk. They're there. Give it some dimension. Then I went in with the neon buildings, the storefronts, and all the things like that. All of those usually have brighter colors, so I just went in with that. And then this last stage, I just wanted to darken everything up, tie everything in, and just fill everything in. This is why a lot of artists just block the colors in, because it's easier to work with instead of having a blank canvas or blank colors or things like that. Of course, with crayons you can't really block anything in because you gotta color it, But yeah. So I decided to divert from my one direction coloring because it's kind of hard to keep doing one direction. Your hands start to hurt and it just you see I messed up the color on one of them, so I just went in with both colors and did the whole thing. And then we have like an indented door with the window on it and stuff. I want to make more windows, so I just made a window with the color that was there. And then I went in with some shadows and made the window sill and there's the reflection of the same sign in the window. And then I worked on a few more details. I wanted Orochi's brightness to be more emphasized. So I went in with more of his color. I scraped some of the color up from the street lights so that they can be more, shining and things like that. And then here is the finished piece. Then of course I tested it to see if the blue would work with each crayon, the neons, and it did. I think it turned out alright. It's not my favorite piece, but it's also not my favorite medium. So, you get what you get. And you don't throw a fit. But yeah, there you go. The finished piece, get the cord out of the way. Yeah, there it is. In all of its glory. Let's put that blue light on. Yeah, you see that? Orochi's lighting up. The neon signs are good. Yeah, that's it. So it's like two pieces in one. We got a pub. Yeah, pub mate. I don't know what the other stuff is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe if you like me. If you don't like me, then click off the video. Don't give it a thumbs down. Don't do that. Stop that. Anyway, yeah, it's a finished piece. That's it. Bye.